Hey everybody, Steve Stine from guitarzoom here, and today what we're going to be doing is talking about some new impulse responses that have been developed with a partnership between Positive Grid, which makes the bias effects, bias amp, that sort of thing, and Celestion speakers. And so what they've done is they've created some new impulse responses of guitar cabinets, a vast amount of guitar cabinets with various different kinds of microphones. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at some of those impulse responses, and we're going to be seeing how they sound. You know, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know I use a lot of the Positive Grid stuff for my videos, you know, for my music, things like that, when I'm in my studio at home and I'm recording. So I thought it'd be fun to show you sort of the difference between some of these sounds and see what you think. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at Bias Amp 2, which is where we're going to be loading these impulse responses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with some clean sounds, and then I'm going to move into some heavier sounds and show you what these impulse responses actually sound like. So let's just go ahead and take a look. Let's look at this RC120 here, which is a really nice sounding clean sound. I'm going to be using my Ibanez, of course, with my EMG pickups. Now that already is very usable for me. Now I'm going to throw on just a teeny bit of reverb here, just to give it some depth. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Now, we've got our amp, and of course we can tweak these however we need to, but what we're going to be doing today is looking at the cabinet. We're going to be looking at those impulse responses that we can load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the cabinet section, and you can see right underneath there it says cabinet. If I click on that, here's where I can normally load all of my cabinets that come with Positive Grid, or you know, any add-on packs, that sort of thing would happen. But what we want to focus on today is right here, this IR loader. This is, we're going to be loading those impulse responses from Celestion. So if I click on that, the first thing that it does is it pulls this up, okay? And what I'm going to do is hit load. Now, I've got 5 packs of impulse responses that we're going to look at here. Now, if I hit load, you're going to notice it pops this thing up. Now, here's my cabinets for bias amp, Celestion, but this is, again, what we're looking for is the IR loader here. Now, there's some factory ones, some user ones, and you can see I even made a new folder called Steve IR. Now, right now, there is nothing in that because I wanted to show you from the start how this works. So what I'm going to do is come over here, and I'm going to go to Import. Now, when I click on Import, what it does is it brings me to my desktop. You can see that right there. And what I've done is I've created a folder called Celestion IR Packs, and I've put all 5 of the packs that I own in this folder. So I can go through and just choose whatever I want. So let's say I'm going to choose a blue, okay, a Celestion blue here. Now, you'll notice when I click on that, I click on this folder, it pulls up another folder that says, do I want a closed 112, a closed 212, a closed 412, an open 112, or an open 212? Well, I'm going to choose, for this particular amp, I'm going to choose an open 212. Now, the next thing I choose is my audio interface is running at a certain quality, right? So right now what I'm doing is I'm doing all of my recording in 48 kilohertz here. That's what I've got my audio interface set at. So I'm going to choose that just so they're as compatible as possible with each other. Now, you might be recording in 44 or 88 or something else. You would just choose whatever you normally do your recording at, or whatever your audio interface is set at. So I'm going to choose 48. And then I get this. I get a choice here of 200 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds, which is kind of the length of time that it takes for that response to sort of kick in. So I'm just going to go with 200 milliseconds. Now, to be honest, I haven't really noticed a whole lot of difference, but I've just been going with 200, trying to keep the latency as low as possible. So I'm choosing that, and then that's when we get to the good stuff here. Now, I can choose all of these different kinds of microphones. Or you can see down here, there's a bunch of different choices of microphones that we can choose. Okay, so what we're going to do here, now it's on a clean channel, and I'm going to go back and forth so you can kind of hear the difference. But a really common one for me is to choose the combination of the 421 and the 57. I like that sound. So I'm going to hit open. It's going to pop that open. Okay, hit OK. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to Steve IR, because I want to save it in there. So here it is, import success. So now that's that impulse response right now. You can see, if you look at the screen, you can see the sample rate is set at 4,800 or 48,000, 48 kilohertz. The bit depth is 24, okay? Now I'm going to go back here. There's the original one. And now we come back to this one right here. Let's say I like that, but I'd like to try something else. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to import another choice. This is a lot of fun because there's just all kinds of different things to choose from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. Let's even try maybe a 412. So I'm going to go back to 48, 200. So let's try this time. Whoop, sorry, I got to go back here. So I'm going to do the blue again, but I'm going to do a closed back 412 just to see what kind of sound I can get off of that. So I'm going to go with a 421 and a 57 again. Hit OK, Steve IR. So now we can see that the 421, the 421.57 on the 412 is here as well. So let's just listen to the difference between these. Let me put that back up. I'll leave my pickup selector right in the same spot so we can hear these. So not too much difference between those. Let's try some different different pack entirely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose the G12M, which is one that I really like. And again, we'll go open back for now, 48, and I'll go 200. And I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to do a 421.57. Okay, well, OK, and Steve IR, and here it is. So now... Okay, so there's that. So we're hearing some subtle differences, okay? But what we're going to do now is we're going to change the amp, and you're going to notice quite a bit of difference. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go over to a Mark IIc, which is an amp that I really love by Mesa Boogie. Grab that. Now, I love the amp, but for me, it's a bit too muddy, okay? So what I want to do here is I'm going to come over to this cabinet here, and I'm going to load one of those IRs that we've been using, those impulse responses. So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to load, go to Steve here, I'm going to load that Blue 212. And now all of a sudden you notice it really does open up. There's a lot more air to this. Now you notice that there's quite a bit of difference between the 212 and the 412 here. So that I really like. Let's try the greenback. Which you may like, you may not like, but for me, that's more of what I'm looking for right there. But let's try something else. So now let's import. Let's try, we've got the G12 there. Let's try, we'll go back one more, there we go. Let's try the cream collection here. So I'm going to go to a 412 because we are using this Mesa Boogie here. So I'm going to go 48 as usual, 200 as usual. And again, we'll try some different things, but let's try the 421-57 combo here and see what we think of that. Okay. So there's our greenback. Okay, pretty gritty. It's pretty cool. You see, and you would just need to decide what you like better, but they're really authentic sounding. you know, whatever you like. So let's try something else here. Let's go to, well, let's just try this triple rectifier here. See what we think of that. Okay, so now we're on the triple rectifier. Again, great amp, but I don't really, I would definitely switch out that cabinet and do some further tweaking from there. But I'm finding with these impulse responses, it doesn't really require me to do much tweaking after that. So I'm going to go back to load, go back to Steve. Let's just start back again here. I'm going to stay with the 412s now just because I kind of like that. So here we go. And right away, that works really well for me. But let's try this one. Just play a couple of the same riffs here. Okay, we'll go back to this one, see what you think. Let's try this one, the creamback. I mean, they all sound incredible to me. So you see, it's really easy. When I was on the clean guitars, it was harder on the clean amp, excuse me. It was harder to kind of decide which one I liked better. But as I move into these and I find some of the amps that really need some clarity, it's really easy to grab something here and make it sound pretty darn good. Let's try an orange. Okay. I own a couple of orange amps. Let's see how this sounds. So I'm going to do the same thing here. This is what we've got with the stock cabinet, which again, I like the sound of anyway, but let's see what we get here. So we're going to go to our loader here, go to Steve, go to this blue here. Well, I notice it's a lot louder now, so now what I can do is I can actually go into this, I can double click on this and pull the level down. Okay, I like that. Let's try something else here. So that's already down, that's good. So let's see what we got. Okay, that's good. Is this one down? Yep, this one's down too. So let's go back so we can see what they look like here. Okay, we'll just try kind of a rock and roll riff here. And again, they're all usable. I probably would wind up going back to this one again, but it's entirely up to you. But you'll see, as I'm doing this, how easy it is just to pull these in and get some really authentic Celestion sounds with these various different microphones. Now, let's try, again, I don't want to take too much of your time, but let's try a different microphone. Let's maybe try a 121. Let's say you wanted a 121. So we can go in here, and now you can choose between a balanced Celestion, a bright Celestion, a dark Celestion. Let's just do a balance. Let's try a 121 balanced here. Okay, so we hit OK, go in here, and now we've got this balanced 121. Okay, so I kind of like that. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And you could just screw around with this stuff. Let's get out of the cream ones here. Let's try Neo Creamback, for instance. These are kind of fun. So we go in here. Again, same setup, but then I got to choose here what I want. So for me, it's always easier just to grab the same thing if I know what I like. And again, you could try all sorts of different things to kind of find what you're looking for. But for me, the 421-57 combo has kind of always been my go-to. So that's what I tend to use first, and then I'll kind of tweak from there. So that makes me think maybe we should try a 121. There we go. And we're going to do the balanced as well, so we kind of keep the comparisons the same here. Okay, so now let's try that one. And again, that sounds amazing to me. So anyway, it kind of shows you what these new packs from Positive Grid and the partnership with Celestion sound like, these impulse responses, and how easy it is to dial in a good tone simply by pulling these in. And they really are authentic. They record really well. Which we don't really have time. Obviously, you can hear what they sound like, but you're going to have to try them out on your own and see with your guitar, your pickups, you know, your taste in amps, things like that, what it is that you like the best. But they're definitely worth checking out. So take care, stay positive, keep practicing, and keep trying to find that ideal guitar tone that is going to make you want to play more, get you inspired to do some writing and different things like that. So take care. I'll talk to you soon.